Okay, so we finished the Hemshech Shavuos Ein Aleph. Really, it's really the point of the Hemshech is that he's describing the difference between the mile of not the mile of Tikkun. I will tell you what's unique about what is the special Chidush of Elam Tikkun Gabay Elam Tayu, and he portrays it in a way that is that's different than in other memoir that we learned about Tayu and Tikkun. And the key in the first mimer, he gives a general difference between Tayu and Tikkun, that in Tayu, the Tikkun is colorless, and in Tayu there is no beetle, and there's no scholars, and in Tikkun there is beetle and scholars. That's how he explains the Maimar Chazal Shabaha Kajbaha Ve'elam. Then he goes into a whole new discussion based on a line in Zoya, taken Sifat Tznius, Ad Le'ave Maskala, Lo'ave Mashgichen Apim V'Apim. So this key sentence, phrase, Lo'ave Mashgichen Apim V'Apim, what is the idea of Lo'ave Mashgichen Apim V'Apim? In that group, we also had a long arichas, what is ponim b'fonim, what is acher b'acher. In that, he goes into the long discussion about the difference between Amshach Chitzenis, Amshach Pnimis, and the way the ischalkus of the spheres in an Elam Tikkun, a very, very, very specific ischalkus and division. That and this Chalkos eventually brings the Skalus. Mashenkin and Torah there's no Chalkos and there's no Skalus. That I finishes the whole concept of that's I finished the whole concept that Leir Mashiach Navim Ba'apin. There was the lack of Ashpah Pnimis because there was a lack of scholars. So really in the end, he in the end, what we learn about Torah and Tikkun are these two, this huge major difference between Ischalus and Ischalus, which brings Ashpah Pnimis, which is the Ashpah from Atzmas. Mashenken in Toyu, there's lack of Ischalus, lack of Isachdus, lack of people. Maybe there's no Amshacha from that's L'dein Loi Anil, that's not the Kavanah Eliyah. And the way to reach this maskana, we went to a lot of very detailed discussions about the Kachas HaNefesh, with the Muskalas Emizen, the way the spheres Skalas Emizen. It's a general overview of the major difference between Torah and Tikkun. So I think this is the general point of the Hemshech. Okay, we will start in Nomaim on page Kufmem Dal. Say like this: Tzavas b'nei Yisrael ma'atalei maskabani lachem lish. That is Tzav in Pashas Pinchas. Amar there's not this with Dal. Chazal say in Kedush and Dar Chaftes. Tona Devera Bishmo. Kol Mokem Shenemar Tzav Eine Elas Dios Mi'al Deus. Usually it says double Nesol. Double. What is Tzav? What is the unique message in the expression Tzav command? Pirush Rashi Noyeg Mi'al Deus. This is the mitzvah that you have to do immediately now, and also it's meant for the older generations that come later. Tzorech la'ovin, tzorech lo'imar. So according to that, the Gemara talks about it. I think the Gemara doesn't. When the Gemara says it doesn't talk about our pasuk. So tzorech lo'imar the kamaykim v'korbanos. So according to that Gemara, that kol makom shneimar tzav and ziras miyad l'deres. Tzorech lo'imar the kamaykim v'korbanos shneimar tzav noig l'deres. In other words, tzav is a unique expression according to the Gemara that signifies that this mitzvah is something that is noig l'deres. It's always valid. Eine moving mashach l'korbanos l'deres is much less with the shkaim. So the question is, how can we say that this concept, the mitzvah of korbanos, korban tomim, is l'deres, which means that it applies forever. When there's no bisamid, there's no korbanos. So how can we say that it's l'deres? So so he goes into the discussion that how mitzvah tzorech li is machshava dibur u'maaseh. The truth is, each mitzvah has 3 stages, 3 levels where it's performed. Machshava dibur u'maaseh. The mitzvah itself isn't the maaseh mitzvah, but this mitzvah also has machshava and dibur. Machshava dibur, the korbanos shech hamachshava. This answer, that question and answer, doesn't go to Torah. Doesn't go to Torah, Pashas Pinchas. That machshava dibur of korbanos, which is like the limud of Hilchas korbanos, the learning, the thinking about it, that exists also now. So that we can say that Tzav l'deres, but korbanos applies to machshava dibur. That's how the Alter Rebbe explains it. But then in the move on, so the Rebbe asks the question, that doesn't answer the question fully, because the Ikar mitzvah, like it says in Tanya Perek, the person bechaved all the kavanas of mitzvah, but they didn't do mitzvah itself, is not yaitz. So the Ikar mitzvah is the asir. You came, we still have to understand the meaning. What is the meaning of the concept of noeg l'deus? We're going to start a new discussion. It's in one line. He's going to get to the next. The first discussion is that tshuva, we find that tshuva dafka be'el ma'aseh le'el ma'av. The person can do tshuva only while he's still alive in this world. Mashenken shom kol echad ha'makom ha'yob al schor el neshachon. It's not clear, but that's be'el ma'aseh. Rak be'el ma'aseh echad sakna de tshuva. Person can do tshuva only while he is still alive in this world. But the minute his neshama leaves his body, and the neshama comes to Olam Haba, which means to the next world, the spiritual world, where the neshama is itself, without the guf, no more tshuva. The tshuva cannot achieve tshuva in Olam Haba. Mela, everybody gets the reward and punishment according to his state condition when he passes away. It cannot fix it anymore. So they have to understand what is it. Why is it special? As you can do tshuva not Nelam Haba. It's another introduces another question. I mean, that question we can pass the question, go from. We can do mitzvahs and Amab also. We do this. There's but here is constantly talking only about this particular point. There's not tshuva in Amab. So going back, that's I told you yesterday that what's interesting is that this maimah which we're learning now, we finished the hemshach. This maimah was said Pinchas. The maimah before was said in Chukas. Shabbos after, but he talks about the same topic we spoke about the hemshach and Tikkun, but he doesn't say in this viral ill. He starts talking about it and it's like a short, almost like a kitzur of the hemshach we learned. The inner b'chos in the Tikkun. The concept of Tikkun that we just finished learning in the hemshach Shavuos. Before Beit Chaim, it says in Chaim, like it was also brought earlier in a little different way. So it says like this: the sphere is the toyu oyu v'prinas kololus. The difference in toyu and tikkun is that the spheres and toyu in the general way. It wasn't developed like we just learned. Or shalzen nikon shalzeh probably means shalshem. That's why they're called nekudas. When zayin machen the toyu zayin nekudas. So in the world of toyu, everything was nekuda. Every sphere had its own being. But tikkun nasa me'azayin nekudas were parts of shalom mitzayod. In the level of tikkun, we have the parts. It's not a nekuda. In noida shesh nekuda sphere parts. We know that bechlal there is nekuda sphere parts. Nekuda gasha sphere kras kos. What is hagal podem klal? Nekuda is when the sphere is in the state of general state. It wasn't developed yet. It wasn't divided into detail. Kasha kol achan let us me yupamachas nika sphere. When each sphere is broken into 10 once, that's called sphere. So then it contains the other sphere. But the way they contest the 10 spheres contained within the one sphere, they contradict and oppose each other. It's interesting. He's saying the Maimah we just finished, and as if it's something that happened. One second. The Maimah is the next Shabbos. For some reason. That's it's not. I don't know if it's going to get that one that's a Maimah, but it's interesting how he talks about it as if something that happened in a different. It's not a hemshach. So what Vayimish Kozle does in the hemshach which is the hemshach Shavuos and the Amasra which is the last Maimah we just learned. We just learned this whole concept. Nekuda sphere parts of Nekuda and sphere. What's Nekuda is just a general concept. Sphere is when each sphere has the other 10 within it, but they're not really interacting. They're not really forget. They don't in a way they contradict each other. They're not working together. So he goes, he repeats the same thing. The truth is, he adds another point that he didn't say in the Maimah before. So the Maimah before, he said that Nekuda means that each sphere has its own. Sphere is kol echad kol echad. Now he adds another question that the Nekuda gam gam is kol echad. In the level of Nekuda, also each sphere contains all the other spheres. and they're not interconnected.
Sorry, according to this, what would be the difference between the Kud and Sphira then?
Yeah, that's a good question. Let's see what he says. He's going to talk about it. Like the difference is she'enam sham b'mitzias nikeres sheyeshayr b'em isnagda zelze. The way the Nekuda he says enam mitzias nikeres, not shayr isnagdas. They're there. Each sphere contains the other 10, but they're all in a state of potential. The state of potential. They don't contradict each other. So that kind of discussed now Abikulim, I think it's Abikulim Tovishnim Dalit. That's what he talks about that concept. Shamish Amtikash, Yesham Sak, this fear, the Yoshazem, Ashanach, Yud, I'm a Nagdi. In the Madriga of Sphere, because Nechal Yuda I'm a Nagdi, but Nesha Sphere, that's a Gabers, which called because without now, ends up in the still is Nagdus marriage. Okay. So he gave us another split, another definition, the difference. It's quite subtle. So it's a little hard to understand, but the difference, in words, we can say the difference. The Koda, each sphere is mamish in a state of potential, and the way it contains the other sphere is in a state of pure, what is it? And this level of sphere, one sphere does contain the other sphere, in a way that the other sphere does give some kind of contradiction, but רק בכוח. שאין זה still is not this mamish. If you remember, he bought from page Hamach base, there was the Chelik Shalai Chelik, there was an Ein Tzarech La'atik, but he bought a marshal, and the person has Svaros Mitzvot, the person in his mind, the Svaros jump and can't come to a decision. I think that was another Meshalim in the way it's in the state of the koyach. To say that I understand, he says there's a difference. So the difference between the weights and the kud and the weights and sphere, it's pretty subtle. Because he added another point that he didn't say before. Before I understood the kuda means that each sphere is on its own. The sphere there's already combination, but the combination is the koyach. Now he adds a psanuk vech that even in the kuda also there is combination of each sphere, but there's still a difference. And the way he described the difference is eine mitzias nikeres, here is mitzias so elarag b'koyach. So I don't know. I can think of a good marshal to explain it. But at the third level, each sphere is built in its tzir fully developed parts of shalom, full face, full shape, zenika parts. That's not like a part of Shabbat is house. That has a tremendous amount of division and combination. Like we explained in the Bible before, that the way it is in the Tzir Adam, you have and this all this is how all this Mabdelis Machalokas have a kasher v'chibur. Now comes the important point. In the his avos partzofim the tikkun, the way tikkun is relates to Torah. Really, the partzofim of tikkun who may zayin the kud is the Torah. It's not like it's a new creation. but the same Zayin, they themselves become, they lower themselves and they develop into a level of parts. Now, marshal is a matter. We have a marshal today. Now I bring a new marshal that we didn't have in the mind before. He adds a new marshal. Yuvan Bazos is a door. When you plant a kernel in the ground, so whatever you plant in the ground contains in it whatever is going to grow out of it. Plant a seed. Take an apple, take a seed of an apple, and you put it in the ground. And then eventually that kernel turns into a tree. So the tree has a lot of details. You have the trunk of the tree, and the branches that come out of it, and the leaves, and the fruit. So we have a lot of details. So if you look closely at the tree, you see there's a lot of details, and each one has pnimis ritzonis, which means there's the more important part of the tree, and the not unimportant. The trunk of the tree, that's the tree itself. That's the ikka. The branches are not the ilan itself, only an expansion. Tzad sheni, pears and ikka koyach ilan. The pears, the fruits are the ikka. That's the ikka of the power of the tree. Dush v'kocha. It says bekitza where this concept is developed in the Hemshach v'kocha of the Rebbe Maharash. Rebbe Kocha Tofesh Lamed Zayin. It's a very long Hemshach. So in that Hemshach, Tofesh Lamed Zayin. It's a piece of the Hemshach v'kocha toich la'osei. In that Hemshach, the Rebbe Maharash develops this point that the pears and ikka koyach ilan. The pears are really the ultimate expression of the tree. Sha'ilan ikka latzmiach pears. The purpose of the tree is to grow fruit. And the tree is called by the fruit that it produces. When you look at the trees, of what tree is it? This is an apple tree. So that shows us that the apples that are really the less part of the development of the tree is called an apple tree, because the tree, that's the ikka koyach ilan. In the normal way of things, eventually the fruit are separated from the tree. There must be ikka ilan. Mashenken, the anafim, the branches of the tree, they're only an extension of the direction dvukim ba'ilam, but at the same time they're connected. Gam, another difference we see, anafim and kamahusi. The branches, when you look at the branch, it's exactly like the tree. It has the same material, the same shape. It's like the tree itself. Pears, but the pears, the fruit, are something different. It's a different type of being than the tree. The at the same time, they are the like you said, the expression of this uniqueness of the tree is expressed by ikka and the pears, in the fruit. Then it says another point. It's all illustrations how there's madreges and pnimis of ritzonis. It's continuing. The core of the, what do you call, what's the proper word for it in English? The thing around
I think it's called the bark. The bark.
The bark of the tree. Thank you. So the bark of the tree, that is tafel gam. That's tafel gam. The bark is tafel gam. So we see here also in the tree, in the body of the tree itself, in the trunk, we have two parts: the tree itself and the bark which is around. When we take off an apple from the tree, it has parts to it. There is the fruit itself, there's the leaves that surround the fruit, and also a clip. There's the what do you call it? The shell. No, what's the word? The clip. All these details which we just described in the tree, all these various details, all these was contained in a state of potential in the kernel of the apple that we threw into the ground to plant the tree. So organ so they gave us a very long description of an apple tree, any tree. It's say tapuchen. So and the way all this comes from the kernel of the apple, the mele that shows the color. All these details, all these levels within the tree were all contained in a state of potential within that garden. Interesting. I think I assume this lashon maybe that's the lashon over there in Maimar Vekocha, the Maimar Reb Marash, the Rebbe said Etz says the lashon mimenu mikoich nimtzam shechakel. That's from the garin. When say from the garin, the entire tree comes from the garin. The lashon I think in Vekocha is mimenu mikoich. That it comes from him and from his power. So the Rebbe, if must say, adds a diuk, mimenu, that's the madrig of sphere. Mekeicha is the madrig of nekuda, because he said earlier that Toyu is both nekuda and sphere. So the koyach of the garin, that is nekuda, that's still in a state of pure potential. Mimenu from the garin itself, that's right the level of sphere. We see interesting as medaik and the lashon of the previous, I think it's of the kocha. To look it up. So everything in the tree comes from that garin. The way it's in the garin, it's a state of concealment. There's no division, there's no separation between specific kaiches. All these different parts of the tree, the way they exist within the garin, they're all equal. Only later on, when it expresses itself, when it exits the koyach yuli, the potential koyach, into the state of development and the revelation, then there's a lot of division. So you see the difference. Like you said, the bark of the tree and the tree itself, and the branches, and the leaves, and the pears. Wasn't another marshal from Ilan, it's another marshal. Smichas atvur. the tzmicha of tvua, we find the same thing. That sheyesh teven v'kash v'shita. There is when we take a tvua, we take wheat, for example. So the wheat contains the teven v'kash. I'm not sure. It's the parts that are not eaten. They're not the stock of chita of wheat contains also the things around it that are not eaten. They are not used for food. One second, I want to see what he says. Second. This. Just I want to find what is this. Okay. Is the medashamish shemedayim elohim ela omachita. The chita and the kevin are this. I can't find it. I'll have to. So that's also obvious. In the it's not clear why he has to go into all the details, but the point is, but he says just like found in the Elon, so you have you have all the parts of the Elon, then the parent, the Elon, and all of them are contained within the garden, in the kernel of the apple that we planted. Similarly, it's also in grain. Same thing happens in grain. That in the grain there is the grain itself, and then there's everything that covers the grain. Bagarin akal kol bashvo. Akal bisval akal biskal bashvo. Bepotis yoiso. Then there is another dogma which is also about considers a lot, which is bepotis yoiso. But zoas atipa loheli shebatipa lo yesh ischakas avam klal. that the tipa, the male sperm, doesn't have any after the sperm showed 9 months, so the child, the fetus is developed in a lot of limbs. You have pnimis chitzenius betel sas tzvanayim b'smamish chitzenius sheba chitzenius shem meisles hasheba, but tipa nimtza koil. Tipa contains everything. Akshein and nika klav asas tzvanayim b'amekach b'roi shem sham b'ashvar mamish. And the way all the parts of the body, from the lowest, which is the sas tzvanayim, the hair and nails, and mayachin, which is the brain, sham b'ashvar mamish, they're all contained in a similar, in an equally. The Okay, so he brought 3 examples, and he said that the third one, he says the pot is yoisa. Why is the pot is yoisa? I'm not sure. But 3 general examples, the concept that something that's in the state of nekuda, and it's in the state of potential, and the first level of expression. It's only that contains everything, but in a level of potential. And later on, when it reaches, when it's developed, all these parts that were contained in the state of potential are developed into individual details that interact with each other. That is the marshal that he's adding here, which in the Maimon, in the Hemshah before, we didn't have. So it's this marshal from Garin and Tipa. So now he's teaching us that this marshal, you have the nimshals also in Toy and Tikkun. Partsuf in the Tikkun, the relation of Tikkun to Toyu can be compared to the relation of the tree to the garden, the kernel. The ineba marshal now, he goes back to the first marshal. In the marshal from the tree, so that's Ma'umas, that's the marshal of Close Ishtashus, Elam Atzilus, Ubiyam, Adishlam Atzilus. That marshal we learned earlier of the Elam, that everything is like a tree, is really a marshal of the way the entire Ishtashus is. The Elam, the tree itself can serve as a marshal, as an illustration of the entire Ishtashus. First of all, the Milamat, it starts on the bottom. Atzilus, Ubiyam. Or all entire stuff, the inner, and it goes into detail. The trunk of the tree can be that's an imshul. So the trunk of the tree itself, which is the body of the tree, this is the marshal. This is the marshal for the imshul of Atzvus and Sofshalamailam. That Silus is partial all about Matzilus, the element Silus is only a radiance, a ray of Atzilus, and Matzilus, that's after the Eibush himself. We know from other places, even the element Shalamatzilus is not Atzilus itself, it's only a Gilin, it's only an extension. In a group for there are 2 levels. There's the etzema, there's the essential source of light, and then there's the light itself, the extension. Etzema is so the etzema of the is above Gilui, and this pashtus Gilui, etzema Madrega from the mile of Atzilus is called Etzema. That is why in a state, it's in the state of concealment. So first he calls it atzmus, but then he uses a more specific language that the etzem v'sherish, etzem ilan in our mashal is a mashal in the concept of keser shel ma'alam atzim. That's the etzem. Shloima, more specifically, there is gufa ilan gangapnes atik. In Kesa Gufa, the Gufa Elon is the Madrega, the higher Madrega of Kesa, which is active. Shegamken is stuck in my Nakud is the Torah, which goes to Mitzchayim. Madrega of Atik is also a Madrega which says Mitzchayim is a result, was created as a result of the reparation and repair the tikkun of the shiur of Torah. That's what it says in Mitzchayim. The article from the so brings in from another source that Atik in Kesa Gufa, the difference in Atik and Arich is that Arich something that's original net solid. And Atik Yoim in Madrega Tachtoina Sheva'atzmus, which is the low Madrega in the Likud, which is the way he's still within himself, and not related to Elomus. So that is Kesa. So that's the nimshul of the Gufa Ilu. V'anacham is fasting. What is the nimshul of the branches that come out of the tree? That's it. That is the marshal, the marshal and the sphere is the branches. She'ein is pashtas, they are only an expansion of a radiance of a ray. At the same time, I'm talking about a max, but they're also connected and united with the max. That's why the spheres of Atzilus are me'ena etzem, which means that the spheres express the infinity of the stuff. While nothing dating appears, what does it mean? What is the nimshul? From the fact that in a tree, the branches grow fruit. The Paris is the elam is biyah, the yesh, the savas yesh, they are nothing, the spheres of Atzilus. Bring the koyach ha'ilon, the koyach of the Kessler to create the Paris, which is the elam is biyah. This is Maramis. Is Maramis to the Lashon in the Geras HaKodesh Siman Chov, but the Alter Rebbe says that only the Kedim that Atzilus, they bring out this unique power that the Eibishter has to create Yesh Ma'ayin, which is an Elos Biyah. Now, how does that express to the spheres, to the Kedim? So it's similar to the way it works in the tree, the Anafi, the branches, they express the Koyach HaIlan, the special, unique quality of the tree to grow fruit. And how does that happen to the branches? The ikahu isav sayesh, and that's out the old. Just like you said earlier in the Elam. So look at the Elam. Look at a tree. We say this is an apple tree, which means that the ultimate purpose of the tree is to create apples. All the rest is all the chaga. So intermediary. The ultimate purpose of the tree is to create the trees, the fruit. So similarly, it says, when we talk about the Lamaila, the Shtalshlos, the Elon, the Anafim, the ultimate purpose is the Paris. which is the most important, the ultimate goal of everything is to create the yesh. The ultimate purpose of everything is to create the yesh, our existence of I don't know, okay, that's already another point. So this is this is the point. So that way, the marshal of the Elon is a way to describe the entire story of Shtalshalos. That the Shtalshalos is created. That they have the Elon, which is the way he describes it. The Elon is the Keser, the stuff itself. The Anafim are the spheres of Atzilus, and the Peres is the ultimate purpose of creation, which is the Yesh Hanibur. Okay. We're still in the middle of a discussion. Okay. Well,
Very nice.
Thank you.
So
Tomorrow we're still on, right?
tomorrow it's still on, but after that, I don't know. Okay.
Okay.
Talk.
All right, let us know.